Hey everyone, welcome to Bad Beats Sports Betting. I'm Dave, joined as always by Steve. How you doing today, bud?
Doing well. Well, outdoors on location for today.
Yeah, it's great weather for it. I'm trapped in my room as usual, but glad you're enjoying getting some rays out there.
Speaking of COVID, we lost one game this week before it even got played. No Steelers Titans.
Yeah, that was going to be an interesting game too. 3-0.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that.
3-0 teams, two very ground and pound defense type of games, old school teams. Probably would have went with the under for that one, but I guess we'll see it. What, week 7 is when they rescheduled it for?
Yeah, I think it's week 7. And then
cool.
I'm opting out of placing anything on the Patriots. Patriots and Chiefs game. I would have probably taken Chiefs -7 in there, but I'm opting out because who knows what the hell's happening to that. Plus,
yeah,
the line could get bigger if it does happen on Tuesday and Cam is out. So who knows what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting game. Obviously, the news dropped today that Cam had tested positive. I don't think anyone else has, except for a practice squad player.
Wild. It makes you wonder.
Bill Belichick's only been a 7+ point underdog, I think, twice in his career as a Patriots head coach, and he's 2-0 against the spread. So it's an interesting little nugget if that game actually does happen on Tuesday. But we had it was advertised as a really bad Thursday night game, but I actually was entertained by it, even though it was my team. I obviously didn't make a pick because it's the Jets, but Steve, you went Broncos money line.
I did go Broncos money line because the Jets were favored by a point, and I'm like, let me go with the value in the Broncos. I don't really ever put bets. Every time I put a bet on the Jets, it doesn't work out, so it's like, let me pick against them. Finally.
Brett Ripken did everything in his power to try to give the Jets the win too. They just couldn't take it. It was frustrating because they had the ball. I think all 3 turnovers. One was a pick 6, obviously. The other 2, they got the ball within the 25-yard line, and we settled for field goals. That's just not the way to win. But yeah, good hit there. I guess we'll move into the other games of the week, right?
Yep. So we got Seahawks and Dolphins to kick this off. Playing in Miami, limited crowd.
Yeah, and Miami's coming with 10 days rest after the Thursday night game where Fitzpatrick had his magic working. I like the Seahawks to cover the 5.5, but I think this game is going to be very exciting. Kind of like every other game the Seahawks have played this year where they go way over the point total and they still end up pulling out the game. And I think they didn't cover against the Falcons, but they covered against the Cowboys, and I forgot who they played week 2. Also, another big thing, the Seahawks' red zone efficiency is the best in the NFL. They've settled for 1 field goal in the red zone. The rest of their trips are touchdowns. So I think the 5.5 is definitely going to be no problem for them to take.
Yeah, I don't see an issue with the 5.5. Russell Wilson's playing at a high level already. I need him to keep playing at a high level for fantasy reasons, especially with James Conner out for me, but I'm taking the Seahawks here.
Yeah, just keep on letting Russ cook. Then we have, from this year's MVP favorite to last year's MVP, Ravens at Washington. They're coming in -14. I think we might see Alex Smith in this game. That's the only reason why I would pay attention to it. But I don't think this is going to be a problem. It's like a 45-minute bus ride from Baltimore to Washington, so it's not even like they're traveling far. They're coming off an embarrassing performance in prime time, and I think they're just going to steamroll them.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely take the Ravens to cover that 14. So it's a big spread, but again, they're coming off an embarrassing loss, and they're playing the Washington football team. There's not much else I have to say about that.
Yeah, Ron Rivera's been throwing in the towel too, so not even wary of a backdoor cover with this one. This next one is really interesting to me. Saints and Lions. No Michael Thomas again in this game. The Saints are favored by 3.5 on the road. I'm going with the Lions to win outright.
Getting bold there.
I feel like the the Lions got a lot of hate for the 0-2 start, but they should have beat the Bears if DeAndre Swift caught that ball. And Matt Stafford's still a formidable quarterback. I think we have to watch and see if Drew Brees can keep up with some of the scoring. Because if you look at their injury report, it's not just Thomas. They're missing key players pretty much all over the defense as well.
Yeah, I still see the Saints covering here. In my opinion, I think even with the injuries, I just don't see them. I don't see the Lions keeping it that close with the Saints, and this is like a game that the Saints have to, in my opinion, it's an easier game for them, and I think they've got to take advantage of it.
For sure, especially on a 1-2 start. The Saints are actually 16-1 in their past 5 years in October, so it is going against the trend for me to pick the Lions, but it's a different Saints team this year. I think they might need one more week to get it back.
Yeah, as you said, I think the biggest question is just can Brees keep up with the scoring?
And if the linebackers could keep Kamara from having a 20-catch performance, 100-something yards like last week. Then we got Chargers at Bucks, right?
Yep,
the other way around.
Bucks are favored by Bucks at home, and Bucks are favored by 7.
Yeah, I like it. It's Tom Brady versus a rookie quarterback. I'll give them a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm honestly
Bucks -7.
I don't know. I'm not feeling. I definitely think the Bucks are gonna win. I don't know. Again, the Chargers were able to just play. The way they played against the Chiefs just makes me not want to take that -7 there. So I think I'm just gonna stick with Bucks money line here.
Yeah, I actually didn't take that into consideration. Maybe the Chargers play up to their competition. They do have some pretty good defensive weapons. I'm still going to take the -7 though with the Bucks. I have faith in Tom Brady. I think the next couple of weeks we're going to see him really fatten up his stats, and the team will probably be like 5-2, and then they'll hit the tough part of their schedule. Browns at Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 4.5. We're going head-to-head on this one because you got Cowboys with the points. I got Browns with the 4.5.
Yeah, so for me, again, I just feel like Dallas is a better team than their record is currently saying. And I actually think they're a legitimate team. I don't know, I wouldn't say Super Bowl team, but I do see them being a threat late in the season. And Dak is playing at a high level. Zeke's playing well. They got a good team. A lot of talent on that team. Way more talent than the Browns. I feel confident with the Cowboys to cover that 4.5.
Yeah, it's going to be on the Browns to keep up for sure. I wouldn't say they have way more talent. It's going to be tough for the Browns to keep up if they go with ground and pound. Actually, the key to the game for the Browns is to make it so that they could just hand it off to Chubb and Hunt. But even if they get down by a touchdown, they still have Odell. And Njoku's hurt, but they have Hooper, Landry, Hunt. I think they could keep up with the Cowboys. Maybe not win, but at least be within a field goal in the closing moments of the game. So we have Colts at Bears, Phil Rivers versus Nick Foles.
BDN.
Yeah. I don't really want to pick the Bears to go 4-0 because I don't think they're a 4-0 roster. But I have no faith in the Colts. I think they're an inflated, overhyped team.
And I think part of the reason why I'm taking Bears money line here, and I really think part of it is just for me, I can't root against Nick Foles. Plus, I think it's just a fun pick here.
Yeah, for sure. And also, if it's a close game, Philip Rivers coughs up leads late. Nick Foles usually gobbles up games late in the fourth quarter. So I think the Bears will cover the -3, so I'm taking it there. We got an interesting game here. Carolina is hosting Arizona. Arizona dropped a bad game to the Lions last weekend. And the Panthers don't have Christian McCaffrey, but they're the type of team that might be able to hang in there. They're a 3.5-point underdog right now.
Yeah, so this was a tough game for me to decide on. I think I'm going to wind up going Cardinals. to cover that 3.5. One, because that's a small cover, and I think Christian McCaffrey being out is the biggest factor I took into that.
Yeah, definitely takes something away from their offense. I'm going to take them to cover 2. I think that there's just too much firepower for the Panthers to keep up with in this one. It'll probably be a close game, and then in the fourth quarter, we'll see Kyler Murray kind of spread it out a little bit and get some separation. Then 2 0-3 teams, Vikings and Texans.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I personally think the Texans are better. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say they're a good team, but I think they're better than 0-3.
Yeah, they got a little screwed by the schedule makers.
Yeah. And that's a huge reason why I am going to take taking Texans money line here. I don't want to deal with looking at points during this, any of that. I think they need a win. I think they're going to come out with one. Texans money line.
Yeah, we're going head to head. I'm going with the Vikings money line. I just have too much faith in Kirk Cousins. I think it might be misplaced, but
I think you're the first person to ever say
they're
that.
a better offense. They're a better offense than the Texans. So I think that they'll be able to pull out the victory. They need the victory. Both teams do. Jaguars at Bengals.
Oof, this is another tough one for me to pick in. My biggest factor, I was just thinking, I'm like, who the hell am I picking in this one? And then I remembered Chark's going to be back, and I just went Jaguars money line because of that. And it's a little bit of a value pick since they're the underdogs in this. Not like a high value pick, but like, you know, were they like maybe like a plus 140? I don't remember the exact odds.
Yeah, that's actually, I have it up right here. I could tell you. The money line you can get plus 115, so it is. You'll double your money if you win. I'm going with the Bengals to cover the 2.5. I really liked what I've seen out of Joe Burrow. And the Minshew mania is great, but we saw last week against the Dolphins, even against bad teams, they get a little bit exposed. I do like their running back though. I think they have something there. He looks like Maurice Jones-Drew 2.0. You're not picking the Giants and Rams. This one's insane. The Giants are 2 touchdown underdogs. I think that they're going to cover that easily. The Rams don't really do that to teams, at least not since their Super Bowl year.
Yeah, I opted out of this, so I don't want to have blind optimism in my Giants. They keep letting me down.
It just doesn't make sense to me that I get the Giants secondary is bad, but the Rams are still a ground and pound team. That's what they do best with Darrell Henderson and Brown. Both of them have had big games this year, so it's going to be they're going to kill some of the clock with their own drives because they typically have those long, majestic, like 10, 11 play, 80-yard touchdown drives. Plus, Daniel Jones isn't as bad as he's played the last couple of weeks. I think Evan Ingram will finally wake up. What?
The Giants just can't score.
They need some of the weapons to wake up. Slayton needs to actually catch the ball.
And it's
Devontae Freeman and Lewis have to do something out of the backfield, but I think that they can cover it too.
And coming into the season, it's crazy. I figured that the Giants, scoring-wise, would be able to keep up with most teams, and the defense was going to be the reason they lose. But no, just can't score, and the defense kind of is meh. But the defense has been better than the offense at times.
Yeah, especially in the trenches. The D-line actually looks pretty good. That's what Gettleman was going for with the hog mollies. Then we have Patriots and Chiefs, which might not happen till Tuesday, if at all.
Yeah, I'm opting out of this. I don't even think there's a line out really right now. As I said, I would have probably taken the Chiefs here, but I mean, especially now that Newton's out. But even with Newton in, I probably would have taken the Chiefs. But I'm staying away from this because who knows if COVID's going to win or not.
Would you put money on the Chiefs to go 16-0? Because I've heard a lot of talk about that this week.
I don't think so. It's so hard to go 16-0, and there's a lot of good teams. I know they beat the Ravens, but who else is on their schedule? I mean, there's a lot of good teams in that AFC.
And if you remember last year, they started out 4-0. Then I think they dropped a bunch of games that they probably could have won down the stretch.
Who knows? Injuries could happen. COVID could happen. This season, I don't think any team's going 16-0 in this COVID season, to be honest. Schedule's getting jumbled up.
I agree with you. I think it was a little premature for people to start throwing that out there. Another 3-0 team is the Bills. They're going into Las Vegas. Some are saying this is a trap game after weekend's win. I don't know if they'll cover the 3.5 points that they're favored by, so I'm just taking the money line, but I still think that they'll win against Las Vegas.
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to win. Definitely tough to tell, but I keep putting my faith in the Bills, and I'm going to continue, so I'm going to take Bills minus 3.5. Not a big line, and I just really like this Bills team. You know, I feel like every time I talk about the Bills, I just say I like this Bills team, and that's literally the reason why I just keep taking their spread, them to cover.
Yeah, they're a very likable team, even though they killed the Jets. I think the Raiders are a year away from competing in a game like this. They have a very young defense. Then we have Eagles at 49ers.
Yeah,
Eagles have obviously underperformed 0-2-1 on the season. Carson Wentz doesn't look good. 49ers are going with Nick Mullins, who might actually be better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Still have a bunch of injuries. No Mostert again. Still don't have their two best defensive linemen out there. I think that the Eagles will cover the +7, but it'll be another heartbreaking loss where they have a lead and then Nick Mullins kills them at the end of the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just, again, with the question marks with the way the Eagles have been playing, I didn't really want to take that +7, so I'm just going to go with a 49ers money line here. Talking banged up team versus banged up team plus shelves his former self, Wentz, which I don't think that's permanent. I think Wentz will find himself throughout the season, but I don't think this will be the game.
Then finally, Monday night, the record, it's 3-0 versus 0-3. Packers hosting the Falcons. But I actually like the Falcons to pull out this win, even though they're 7.5 point underdogs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They could easily be 2-1.
It's crazy that the Falcons are 0-3. They're in my opinion, they're a better team than 0-3.
Yeah, for sure. They lost to the Seahawks in a shootout. They lost to who was the team that? Oh, they should have beat the Cowboys if they covered the onside kick.
And what happened? Point lead.
They blew a 15-point lead against who last week? The Bears, because Nick Foles came in and worked his magic. I think that they'll pull it out. I think the Packers have overperformed their talent, and the Falcons, by their record, have underperformed their talent. So I think we see a little regression this week on the big stage.
I don't think it's that the Packers are overperforming. I definitely do think the Falcons are underperforming to their potential. But I think this is the Packers' potential. I think Aaron Rodgers is playing high level. I find it hard to want to pick against the Packers in a primetime game like this, too. I'm going to take the Packers to cover that 7.5.
I'm also an Aaron Rodgers hater, so that always works into how I look Packers games. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I think that they've overperformed a little bit, but I also thought that last year, so they're just proving me wrong that last year wasn't a good have had, but they'll be made up later in the season. I don't know. I guess we'll see how it goes. So far, you've had a better year than me. You're 22-1.
It's been a rough year. Damn COVID.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. 2 games under is pretty good for betting statistics, I'd say.
Yeah. Hopefully this week we can get a little higher. All right, so that's our picks for the week.
Any last thoughts?
No, not really.
For week 4.
Hopefully we don't lose too many more games to COVID. Or more postponements.
Yeah, it got a little scary with the whole Titans situation.
Yeah, I think the season will be fine though. The MLB, I know it's a little easier with MLB because you could do the double headers, but worst case scenario with the NFL, they could always do a makeup week, like a week 18 or something if they had to.
Yeah, I don't always push the Super Bowl back a week.
I don't foresee the season getting canceled. If the MLB made it through, I think the NFL will too.
Yeah, I think so too. There's just a lot all in 1 week. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Good luck, everybody.
The whole Marlins team was like basically infected at one point in the MLB. So,
Yeah, actually, both the teams, the Marlins and the Cardinals, were the two teams most affected, and they both made it to the wild card round. So
So yeah, shouldn't be a big deal. But yep, best of luck to you. Best of luck to everyone.
yep, thanks for listening.